Hello students. Next see the illustration number 5. Following are the particulars of income of Mr. Vaibhav for the previous year 2019-20. Compute the GTA if he is a resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. So here we have to compute the GTA or total income or taxable income if he is a resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Under that, first one is salary accrued and received in India. Here salary accrued and received in India. So it is received in India. So taxable in all three cases. Served for 3 months in the Indian embassy in the USA and salary received there. So here salary of 3 months is received in the Indian embassy, that is also US, and salary received also there, received there rupees 30,000. Since it is a Indian embassy, so it is deemed as a treated as a deemed to be accrued in India. So 30,000 rupees taxable in the all the three cases: ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Next, profit from business in New York. So it is a foreign income. It is taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. Next, dividend declared in Perth but received in India. So here it is received in India is given. So received in India means it is taxable in the hands of all the three cases. Dividend received in Germany from an Indian company. So dividend is received from an Indian company. So it is exempt in all the three cases. Income from business in Sri Lanka. Business is controlled from London. So both business income earned from Sri Lanka, business is controlled, set up in London. So both are outside country. So it is foreign income. So foreign income is taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. 10,000 rupees taxable in the hands of ordinarily resident. Since business is controlled outside India, it is not taxable in the hands of not ordinarily resident. So this is entirely foreign income. It is taxable only in the hands of first column, ordinarily resident. Next one, interest on debenture of a company in France received in India rupees 8,000. So interest on a debentures of a company, this is received in India. Received in India is taxable in all the three columns, all the three cases. Profit from business in Delhi, the business is controlled from Nepal. Profit received there is 18,000. So this is a profit from business in Delhi. Business is set up in Delhi. So 18,000 is taxable in all the three cases. Business is in Delhi, so 18,000 is taxable in case of ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Next one, an income from business in New York controlled from Delhi. So this is a business in New York controlled from Delhi. So since it is a foreign income, it is taxable in the hands of ordinarily resident. Since it is the business is controlled from Delhi, so it is also taxable in the hands of not ordinarily resident, but it is not taxable in the hands of non-resident. So only first two column you have to take the amount. Next, interest on POSB account is rupees 5,000. 5,000 is given here. Up to rupees 3,500 is exempt. Up to 3,500 is exempt, means balance how much? 3,500 and 4,000, 5,000. So 1,500 is taxable here. So here I'll show the calculation only for new adjustment. Point number J. Point number J, here interest on POSB is exempt up to rupees 3,500. So here in this problem how much given? 5,000 rupees is given. So in that 3,500 is exempt. Okay, 3,500 is exempt. So balance how much? 1,500 is taxable in all the three cases. 1,500 rupees is taxable here for point number J. For rest solutions, you have to solve by yourself. Next one, royalty received in Germany from Mr. Kailash, a resident in India, for technical services provided from a business carried in Germany. So this is a royalty received in Germany. Received is in Germany from a Mr. Kailash. So this is a person name is Mr. Vaibhav. So he is received royalty in Germany from Mr. Kailash, who is resident in India, for technical services provided for a business carried on Germany. So business also carried in outside India, royalty received also outside India. So means it doesn't matter if the royalty provider he is resident in India or outside India, doesn't matter, non-resident or resident in India or non-resident in India, doesn't matter. Here royalty received is outside in India, business carried out also outside India, foreign income, so taxable only in the hands of first column, ordinarily resident. So next two column is not taxable. Next point number L, interest received from Mr. Philip, a non-resident, on the loan provided to him for the business carried on in India. So interest is received from Mr. Philip, non-resident, loan provided to him for business is carried in India. So it is taxable in all the three cases. Since it is business is carried out in India. Next, interest received in London. Interest is received in London from Mr. Nixon, a non-resident, on the loan provided to him for a business is carried on Sri Lanka. Interest received in London and business also carried out in Sri Lanka, outside India. So it is foreign income, taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. It is not taxable in the hands of not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Next, fees from Indian company. Fees from Indian company carrying on business at London. So business is carried out at London for technical services carried out at London. Services carried out at London have been directly deposited by the company to his bank account in India. Means the amount is received in India. Fees from an Indian company. So it is a Indian company carrying business in London. So actually accrued is in India, accrued outside in India, but amount is received in India. So 25,000 is taxable in all the three cases. Ordinarily resident has to pay tax on this 25,000, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Three cases also has to pay income tax on this income. Next, fees for technical services provided in New York from an Indian government. So here fees for technical services is provided where New York from Indian government. The technical services is provided for government for project in Iran. So here service is received New York, and who is the provider? Service provider is Indian government, from the Indian government. So it is taxable in all the three cases. Fees from technical services received in New York from the Indian government. So the service provider means service actually accrued in by the Indian government. So it is accrued in India. So it is taxable in the all the three cases. Income from business in Mumbai. Business is set up in Mumbai. Business is being controlled from London. So income from business in Mumbai. Business is set up in Mumbai, so it is taxable in all the three columns. 10,000 is taxable in all the three columns. Interest on saving bank deposit in SBI. Interest on saving bank deposit in SBI is fully taxable. Only POSB account, post office saving bank account, up to 3,500 is exempt. This one is fully taxable. Interest on SBI is accrued and received in India. SBI means State Bank of India, so it is accrued as well as received in India, so taxable for all the three columns. Gift received from a friend. Gift from a friend in euro currency in France, outside India. Gift received outside India. So gift from friend up to 50,000 is exempt. Beyond 50,000, so the amount is 65,000. Entire amount is taxable. But who has to pay tax on this income? Since it is received, gift received from a friend in France, gift received in France, so outside India, so it is treated as a foreign income and taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. If it is received in India, then it is taxable in all the three cases. All the three cases has to pay tax. Here only ordinarily resident, because it is received in France. Okay, now see the illustration number 6. Following are the particulars of income of Mr. Ravi for the previous year 2019-20, previous year 2019-20. So we have to compute GTA if he is a resident, not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. So informations are given. First one, Royalty received from Government of India. Government of India. So 25,000 is taxable for ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident. Next, income from business in Iran. Income from business is in Iran. Business situated or in Iran, of which 15,000 was received in India. So 25,000 is a foreign income, 15,000 received in India. This business is controlled in India. So here, since it is a foreign income, business from Iran, foreign income, it is taxable in the hands of ordinarily resident. 25,000 is taxable, of which 15,000 was received in India. This business is controlled in India. So business is controlled in India. So it is 25,000 is taxable even in the hands of not ordinarily resident. Next, 15,000 was received in India. So here 15,000 rupees is taxable in the hands of non-resident. So first two column we have to write 25,000 and third column we have to write 15,000. Means it is received in India only 15,000. Next, third one, interest received in Iran. Interest is received in Iran from Mr. Kumar, a non-resident, on loan provided to him to run a business in India. So business is in India. So 12,000 is taxable in all the three column. Ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident has to pay tax on this income. Next, royalty received from a company in India. Company in India for technical know-how provided to its business. Business is situated in Sri Lanka. The income is received also in Sri Lanka. So here business income is accrued in Sri Lanka. Income is received also in Sri Lanka. So it is outside India. Foreign income, it is taxable only in the hands of first column, ordinarily resident. Here one confusion you may get, royalty received from company in India. So here only government of India, if they give government of India or embassy of India, embassy, Indian embassy, then only it is taxable in it is treated as a Indian income. Okay, so company of in India means it is a treatment like this. Here what they given, royalty. Here royalty you can treat for the rule same, interest. Interest on foreign branch of Indian bank. So it is Indian bank means here you take as a Indian company. Indian company of foreign, business is in foreign, right, Sri Lanka. So foreign branch of Indian company. So it is amount is received where the amount is received here, which one? Received in outside India. So amount received outside India means taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. If received in India, then it is taxable for all the cases. So here accrued as well as received is outside India. So it is taxable only for the ordinarily resident, even the company of in India. Okay, so if they give government of India or embassy of India, Indian embassy situated in UK, US like, then it is taxable for all the three cases. Here company is in India, business is business set up in Sri Lanka. Their business is set up in Sri Lanka and as well as received also in outside India. So it is taxable for the first column, only first column. Then rupees 75,000 fees for technical services received from company in Dhaka, Bangladesh, for services for rendering technical services to its business carried on in India. So here directly given business is carried on in India, so income is accrued in India. So 75,000 is taxable for all the three column. Next, royalty received from a Sri Patel, a resident in India. So whoever the provider of service, doesn't matter, provider of any amount, royalty received from a royalty provider is here Sri Patel. He is resident in India for technical services provided to his business carried out outside India. Business is carried outside India, foreign income it is. Royalty received from a Sri Patel, a resident in India. He is a resident in India. For technical services he is provided there only. Okay, so this is a foreign income. It is taxable only in the hands of ordinarily resident. Here Sri Patel is resident in India is given. Don't confuse with it. The provider of money, royalty provider, he might be resident or non-resident in India. It doesn't matter. Whether business is accrued in India or amount is received in India, then it is taxable here in India. So this one is business is carried out outside India. The person is resident in India. It doesn't mean that the income is accrued in India. Okay, so this is a foreign income. So it is taxable only in the hands of first column, ordinarily resident. Next, profit from business in Kuwait. So this is a business Kuwait, taxable in the hands of ordinarily resident. 60% brought to India. So brought into India is irrelevant here. No need to check this, brought into India. Profit from business in Kuwait. 30,000 taxable in the hands of, it is a foreign income, taxable in the hands of ordinarily resident. Then not ordinarily resident, it is not taxable because no sentence about business controlled in India. Then non-resident also not taxable. So this is 60% brought into India. Brought to India is not irrelevant here. Next one, income from business in Jaipur. Business in Jaipur, so it is in India, received in Nepal. This business is controlled from Nepal. So business is in Jaipur in India, so it is taxable for all the three columns. Business is controlled in Nepal, doesn't matter. Here it is in India, so it is taxable. Gift received from uncle. Uncle is a relative. Relative exempt. Totally, there is no condition, maximum limit. Entire amount is exempt. Okay, from relative entire amount is exempt. Gift received from relative entire amount is exempt. So here we have to write like this: gift received from uncle, in bracket write relative. So it is exempt in for all the three cases. Next one is past untaxed profit. Past untaxed, not taxable. Past untaxed foreign income brought into India is not relating to this previous year, the previous year 2019-20. It is a past year's income, so it is not taxable in the hands of three cases. Compute GTI with the above information if he is a resident, not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. So both the solutions you have to try by yourself and send the solution